Imagine stepping back in time to 1911. Atlanta is a city buzzing with progress, its streets filled with the sounds of a new century. But beneath this vibrant surface, a chilling shadow is about to fall. For over a year, a terror will grip the city, a phantom who stalks the night, leaving a trail of fear and unanswered questions. This is the story of the Atlanta Ripper. It all began on a quiet night in late May 1911. The body of Belle Walker was discovered in her home. The scene was unsettling, and the local police were initially baffled. They treated it as a tragic but isolated incident. Little did they know, this was just the first move in a deadly game that would haunt the city for months to come. The perpetrator was methodical, leaving behind few clues, and earning a terrifying nickname that echoed the infamous killer from London. As the weeks turned into months, the pattern became horrifyingly clear. The attacks continued, each one bolder than the last. The victims were all young black women, working as servants in the city. The killer would strike in the dark, often on a Saturday night or early Sunday morning, when the city was at rest. The community was thrown into a state of panic. Doors were bolted, windows were barred, and a sense of dread hung heavy in the air. Who was this monster, and why were these women being targeted? The Atlanta Police Department was under immense pressure. In an era before modern forensic science, they were struggling. They had no fingerprints, no DNA, no security cameras. All they had were eyewitness accounts that were often conflicting and unreliable. Detectives worked around the clock, chasing down every lead, no matter how small. They questioned hundreds of people, from disgruntled former employees to suspicious figures seen lurking in the shadows. But the killer was like a ghost, always one step ahead. The newspapers of the time fueled the public's fear. Headlines screamed about the Ripper and the manslayer. They published every grim detail, sometimes sensationalizing the facts, which only added to the growing hysteria. The press put enormous pressure on the police to make an arrest. Any arrest. This led to a series of wrongful accusations and arrests, as desperate officials tried to show they had the situation under control. Several men were taken into custody, their names and faces splashed across the front pages, only to be released later due to a lack of evidence. Each false start was another blow to the community's trust and another victory for the unseen killer. In this atmosphere of terror, the black community of Atlanta showed incredible strength and resilience. They didn't just hide behind locked doors, they organized. Men formed neighborhood watch groups, patrolling the streets at night with whatever they could find to protect their families and neighbors. They escorted women to and from work, creating a network of protection. Churches became centers for information and support, offering prayers and a safe haven for those who were afraid. It was a powerful display of unity in the face of an unimaginable threat. They were determined to protect their own when they felt the system was failing them. Then, as suddenly as it began, it stopped. After more than a year of terror and over a dozen victims, the attacks ceased in late 1912. The city held its breath, waiting. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and the Ripper never struck again. Did the killer leave Atlanta? Was he finally caught for another crime and imprisoned, his connection to the slayings never made? Or did he simply stop? The silence was almost as unnerving as the attacks themselves. The shadow that had loomed over Atlanta for so long simply vanished, leaving behind a legacy of fear and a mountain of unanswered questions. Over the century that has passed, the case of the Atlanta Ripper has faded from public memory, becoming a dark footnote in the city's history. Numerous theories have been proposed by historians and amateur sleuths. Some believe the killer was a man named Henry Huff, who was arrested and later sent to a mental institution around the time the attack stopped. Others point to different suspects, but without concrete evidence. These are just theories. The lack of sophisticated investigative techniques at the time means we may never know for sure. The files have grown cold, the witnesses are long gone, and the truth seems to have been buried with the victims. The story of the Atlanta Ripper is more than just an unsolved crime. It's a sobering look at a specific time and place in American history. It highlights the social dynamics of the early 20th century South and the vulnerability of a community that was often overlooked and underserved. The victims were not just statistics. They were daughters, sisters, and friends. They were women like Belle Walker, Addie Watts, and Mary Yelp, whose lives were cut short and whose stories deserve to be remembered. The case of the Atlanta Ripper remains one of the nation's oldest and coldest serial killer cases. It's a chilling reminder that sometimes the greatest mysteries are the ones that are never solved, and the scariest monsters are the ones who are never caught. The identity of the person responsible is a secret that the past has refused to give up, leaving us with only speculation and the echoes of a city gripped by fear. Thank you so much for watching. The stories from our past, even the darkest ones, have so much to teach us. If you found this video interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into historical mysteries. Let me know your thoughts or theories in the comments below. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.